Hello everyone, it's me, Sir Z. Are you ready to learn something new with me today? Awesome! This time our episode is for grade 6 music. Our lesson for today is about musical notes and rest, their values, the dotted notes, and the dotted rest. Are we good to go? Very good! Today, the module that we will be using for this topic is this one. After this video, I'm gonna make sure that you will be able to understand the value of notes and rests in a particular song and identify the notes and rests used in a particular song. Are you ready? Let us define first what note and rests are. A musical note is a symbol that represents sound. That means on a musical composition, every note written is a type of sound. Imagine we are, for example, playing a piano. Each note is like a press on a piano key to make a sound. Rest. In music, rest is a symbol that indicates silence or the absence of sound. When you see a rest symbol, that means there should be no sound for that part of the music. How long a note or sound or a rest depends on its value or number of beats. We will talk about values later on. But for the meantime, let's learn the different kinds of notes and rests. The different notes and rests are equal in terms of value or beats. To simplify, let's study the 5 different words that we will connect to the words note and rest to make the different notes and different rests. Like I said, we will use math to help us with this topic. The first word is whole. In math, whole means a complete body. Add this word to note and rest and we will have whole note and whole rest. Using math, divide whole into 2. We will get 2 halves, so our next word is half. Add this word to note and rest and we will have half note and half rest. Dividing the halves into 2 more will give us 4 or quarters. That makes a quarter note and a quarter rest. Divide the 4 pieces each by 2 and we will get 8 smaller pieces. That means we now have 8 note and 8 rest. Finally, cut each of the 8 pieces to 2, and that will result to 16 much smaller pieces. With this, can you guess what are the names of our next note and rest? Yes, they are the 16th note and 16th rest. Let's review. The names or types of notes are whole note, half note, quarter note, 8th note, and 16th note. We add the same words to rest, so the different types of rest are whole rest, half rest, quarter rest, 8th rest, and 16th rest. Very good, class. I'm glad that one was easy for you. Now that we know their names, let's learn how to draw and identify the different symbols of notes and rests. Let's start with notes. Actually, there is a clever way to master the symbols of notes. We will draw the first symbol for whole note, and from there, we will just add something to it each time to change it to the symbols of the other notes. The symbol for whole note is a slightly flattened letter O. This is the symbol for whole note. Now let's change this into a half note. To do that, we just need to add a stem to the right side of the letter O. This now is the symbol for half note. To change the half note symbol into a quarter note, shade the inside of the letter O. This now is the symbol for quarter note. To change the symbol into an 8th note and a 16th note, we only need to add flags at the top of the stem. Add 1 flag and this now becomes an 8th note. Add the second flag and this symbol becomes a 16th note. Let's review. This is the symbol for whole note. This is half note, quarter note, 8th note, and lastly, 16th note. That was amazing. Using arts to remember how the notes look like really is a clever way to master the different symbols of notes. Now, the rest. By now, we already learned that like notes, we also have 5 different symbols of rest. This one is also easy. We draw both whole rest and half rest the same way but with a variation. For whole rest and half rest, imagine a broad brim hat. The whole rest is an inverted hat, while the half rest is the same drawing but this time right side up. The quarter rest is the loner of the group. It doesn't have a partner. To draw it, imagine a reverse lightning bolt, or in Tagalog, baliktad na kidlat. And then, end the drawing with a letter C. So this is the symbol for a quarter rest. Drawing the 8th rest and 16th rest follows the same steps from 8th note and 16th note. First, draw a slightly leaning stem. Attach a dot at the top of the stem at its left side, and you made an 8th rest. Add one more dot, and it becomes a 16th rest. Let's review. This is a symbol for a whole rest, half rest, quarter rest, 8th rest, and 16th rest. Time to learn the values of notes and rests. Value represents how long a note or rest is played. The number of values are called beats. Imagine a ticking clock or the beat of your heart. Counting the value is like counting the tick of a clock or counting the beat of your heart. But in music, we use a device called metronome. Class, this is an example of a metronome. A metronome is a musical device that is used to keep time in music. It sounds like this. To count the value of each note and rest, we will count the beat sound from a metronome. Imagine we are using a piano. When you press a piano key, the sound it creates is going to be the first beat or first count of the metronome. And then just continue counting the next beat of the metronome. Let's start. The value of whole note is 4 beats. With the metronome, we count 4 beats like this. Were you able to count the 4 beats from the metronome? Let's hear that again. The value of half note is 2 beats. Take note, to get the value of each note going down, beginning from the whole note all the way to the 16th note, just divide the last number by 2. Since the value of a whole note is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. That is why the value of half note is 2. With the metronome, we count the value of half note like this. Let's hear and count that one more time. Can you guess what is the value of a quarter note? Correct. The value of a quarter note is 1 because 2 beats from half note divided by 2 equals 1 beat for the next note, which is the quarter note. Using a metronome, counting the value of quarter note is like this. Let's hear that again. Using the same math formula, can you give the value of 8th note and 16th note? Correct. 8th note is 1/2 beat, while the 16th note is 1/4 beat. Note, unlike the first 3 notes, both 8th and 16th notes are played very fast and is commonly partnered with other 8th notes or other 16th notes. Imagine pressing a piano key continuously and quickly, depending on how many 8th notes or 16th notes there are. Example, with 2 8th notes, they will sound like this. Now that we know the values of notes and how they are counted, remember that notes and rests are equal to each other. So the value of notes are the same numbers for the rest. The only difference is that with rest, you are counting silence. There is no sound, but you are counting the same numbers. Let's review. The value of a whole note, which is the same for whole rest, is 4 beats. The value of a half note and half rest is 2 beats. Quarter note and quarter rest have 1 beat. 1/2 beat for the 8th note and 8th rest, while 1/4 beat is for 16th note and 16th rest. Dotted notes and rest. Sometimes in a musical composition, you will find notes or rests with a dot next to it. A dot adds 1/2 of the original value to the value of a note or rest. Example, the value of whole note is 4 beats. 1/2 of 4 is 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. So the value of a dotted whole note is 6 beats. Let's work the value of the dotted half note. The value of a half note is 2 beats. 1/2 of 2 is equal to 1. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. So the value of a dotted half note is 3 beats. Can you tell what is the value of a dotted quarter note? Yes, the value of a dotted quarter note is 1 1/2 beat. Again, that is because the value of a quarter note is 1. 1/2 of 1 is 1/2. So 1 original value of quarter note plus 1/2 of that number is 1 1/2 beat. Note, the value of a dotted 8th note is 3/4 beat. The value of a dotted 16th note is 3/8 beat. Let's review. Here is a table that shows the values of dotted notes and dotted rest. Pause this video if you wish to copy the table. Let's practice everything that we have learned. What is this note? Very good. It's a whole note. How about this one? Right again. It's a quarter note. And this one? Tama ka na naman. This is the symbol of a half rest. What is the value of a half note? Yes, the value of a half note is 2 beats. Try this one. Correct. This is a dotted 8th note, so its value is 3/4 beat. Now that everything has been laid out, it's time for you to go to your modules and answer all the activities in it with confidence, using what you have just learned from this lesson. For the meantime, I will say goodbye, study well, and make your families proud. This is Sir Z. See you all again next time. Class dismissed.